So we're going to find the inverse of a matrix using a TI-83, TI-84 plus. They're all the same kind of thing. We're going to find the inverse of this 3 by 3 matrix A, and we'll use the calculator to do it. So this is my 3 by 3 matrix that I'm going to do or use. This is the calculator. It's a TI-84 plus. Now, and TI-83 plus, they're all the same kind of thing. So you'll see my output screen here, and then you'll see like the buttons that I press pop up down there if you want to look at that. On top of x to the negative 1, you're going to see matrix, and in my calculator it's in blue. Some of you it might be in yellow. That just indicates you're going to press second and then that button. So second x to the negative 1 to pull up matrix. And this is what it looks like when you do that. You have the names of matrices, math, and edit. You can obviously input multiple matrices in here if you want to, but right now we're going to input one in edit. So scroll over to edit, okay, using your arrows. Once edit is highlighted, we want matrix 1, so let's press enter, and we're going to input our matrix A here, which is a 3 by 3. Notice right now it's 1 by 1, so I have to tell the calculator what dimension my matrix is. So since mine is a 3 by 3 matrix, well, let me organize this. Okay, yeah. So since my matrix is a 3 by 3 matrix, 3, enter, and then I want to put another 3 here. Go back up, go change that to 3, scroll up, 3 by 3. Okay, so now you'll see 3 rows pop up and 3 columns. Now when you input the numbers into your matrix on your calculator, it goes across the top. Row 1, across the top, 2, 6, 6. So 2, enter, 6, enter, 6, enter. Row 2, across the middle, 2, 7, 6, 2, enter, 7, enter, 6, enter, and then row 3, 2, 7, 7, 2, enter, 7, enter, 7, enter. So there's my 3 by 3 matrix A. Always double check that your numbers are, correct, right? You didn't input something wrong. Now I like to go back to my home screen. So on top of mode, you see quit, second mode, go back to my home screen so that it's nice and clean. I don't have any crazy stuff happen. And then I'm going to now do something with that matrix, okay? So if I want to do something with the matrix, go back to, matrix, second, x to the negative 1 to pull up your matrix stuff. And again, you see now in matrix A, my 3 by 3 matrix is there. So it tells you that you have a matrix in there. Now in math, let's go over to math. You're going to see a bunch of stuff in here that you could do with a matrix. Scroll down. All these things you could do with a matrix. REF, row echelon form, RREF, reduced row echelon form. We've seen determinants you can do, dimensions, a lot of stuff you could do with it. But I want to do an inverse. So back to my home screen. Back to matrix, we're going to pull up matrix A to do the inverse. So this is how we do it. Matrix A, enter. And remember the notation of an inverse, A to the negative 1. Okay, so if you look, if you look here, you'll see x to the negative 1. That indicates inverse. So you press that button, not second, just x to the negative 1, and you're going to see A to the negative 1 pop up, which is the notation of your inverse. Enter. A inverse, or the inverse of matrix A, is equal to this. Now notice that my output is in decimal form. Let's say I don't want decimal form, because a lot of times in higher order, higher math, you want fractions. You want exact values, because you might see more difficult types of decimals. Not 3.5 is pretty simple, but you might get others. So if I want to convert this into fraction form, you're going to go over here to math. And you'll see that number 1 says arrow and then frac. You want that one, so enter. Then it's going to pull up my last output in my calculator, and this arrow says convert it to fraction form, enter. And now I have my matrix A inverse in fraction form. So let's just kind of recap a little bit here. It's nice, right? Again, if I want to find the inverse of a matrix, let's go back to home screen. You're going to go matrix, pull up matrix A or whatever matrix you want your inverse of after you edit and put it in there, right? Don't forget to put your matrix in, put the dimensions, input across the rows, then go back to your matrix, and then x to the negative 1 to indicate the inverse of the matrix, enter. I want it in fraction form, not decimal form. Back to math. number 1, enter, and then enter again. Now you have the inverse of matrix A in fraction form.